In an unexpected and deeply emotional twist to the Run Seokjin EP tour, Jin BTS has not only invited Jungkook to join him on stage, but he's gone one step further. According to multiple sources and HYB insiders, Jin has extended a personal invitation to Jungkook's mother to attend a special concert night as an honored guest. And the reason behind it is nothing short of breathtaking, set to take place during one of the most anticipated shows on the tour, possibly in London or Seoul. Jin reportedly planned the gesture in complete secrecy, as a heartfelt tribute not just to Jungkook, but to the woman who raised him. This isn't just about a performance. Jin shared privately with staff, as quoted by someone close to the production team. "Jungkook has been my strength, my light, my silent anchor. And I wanted to show gratitude to the person who made him who he is." The bond between Jin and Jungkook has been the emotional backbone of this solo tour, which began as Jin's brave step into the spotlight alone. But as rehearsals deepened and fatigue crept in, it was Jungkook who stood beside him, off stage at first, encouraging him, helping with arrangements, and reminding him of his power. And now, that quiet support will take center stage, as the two will perform side by side in a performance that's expected to redefine Run Seokjin EP tour as a moment of reunion, brotherhood, and family. But the real emotional weight lies in Jin's private tribute to Jungkook's mother. Sources reveal that a special seat will be reserved near the front of the arena, not just for her, but for her to witness something no parent could forget: her son shining next to someone who calls him "my younger brother" in every sense. Rehearsal leaks hint at a new duet between the two, an unreleased ballad said to have been co-written during an all-night writing session in early May. The lyrics reportedly touch on themes of strength, protection, and returning home, making it even more emotional considering the presence of Jungkook's mother in the crowd. Fans are already emotional just imagining the moment. Social media is ablaze with speculation, using hashtags like #JinJungkookDuet, #MamaJon at the concert, and #GoldenFamilyReunion. Armies across the globe are preparing for what could become one of the most unforgettable moments in BTS history. Jin, standing tall in his solo era, choosing to share his brightest spotlight not with another star, but with a brother, and inviting that brother's mother to witness it all. And as the tour nears that very special night, one thing is clear: this isn't just a concert. It's a love letter to music, to family, to friendship, and to the kind of bond that goes beyond blood and beyond fame. When the lights dim, when the intro begins, and when Jungkook walks onto that stage with his heart full and his mother watching from the crowd, there won't be a dry eye in the house. As the news spreads, fans around the world are already calling the upcoming performance a once-in-a-lifetime moment. For many, this isn't just a story about idols. It's a story about human connection, vulnerability, and honoring the people who shape us. Jin's decision to personally involve Jungkook's mother is being praised as an act of deep sincerity and respect. It's rare in the K-pop industry for artists to highlight their families so openly, but Jin has always been known for his warmth and emotional honesty. During a previous broadcast, he once said, "You don't become someone like Jungkook by accident. It takes love, discipline, and someone who never stops believing in you." Behind the scenes, preparations for this special night have taken an intimate tone. Staff members have reportedly been instructed to arrange a small, private room backstage for Jungkook's mother, complete with flowers, her favorite snacks, and a personal letter written by Jin. The contents of the letter remain private, but one source claims it expresses gratitude for giving the world someone so kind, loyal, and endlessly talented. Jungkook, who had not originally planned to perform during this leg of the tour, was moved beyond words. According to those close to the production, he tried to decline at first, not wanting to take attention away from Jin's solo moment. But Jin's response was simple: "This moment isn't about taking anything. It's about sharing what matters." As the two rehearse together, the chemistry between them is undeniable. Jin, with his clear, emotional tenor, and Jungkook, with his golden, rich vocal tone, are said to have created an atmosphere in rehearsals that gave chills even to seasoned producers. They don't just harmonize vocally, they harmonize emotionally. One sound engineer shared, "It's not about performance anymore, it's about truth." Rumors are swirling that the performance will feature a new arrangement of Epiphany that transitions seamlessly into Still With You, a symbolic blend of both of their identities and musical styles. The visual design is also expected to feature childhood images of both Jin and Jungkook, photos reportedly selected by their own families, To represent their journeys from ordinary boys to global icons, fans are preparing with fan projects, tributes, and emotional banners expected to flood the venue. ARMYs are organizing a White Ocean event, where fans will hold white light sticks instead of the usual purple to symbolize purity, family, and peace. Some fans are also planning to raise signs that read, "Thank you, Mama John." And perhaps the most touching part of all, there's talk that after the final note of the duet, Jin will walk off stage briefly, only to return holding hands with Jungkook's mother, inviting her to take a bow. Whether or not this happens remains to be seen, but even the possibility has fans overwhelmed with emotion as the special concert night approaches. One thing is certain, this won't just be a performance. It will be a celebration of love, of sacrifice, and of chosen family. A night where a world-famous idol uses his stage not just to shine, but to lift up those who walked beside him through it all. Jin's tour began as a solo chapter, but with Jungkook by his side and the woman who raised him watching proudly from the front row, it has become something so much greater. It's not just a concert anymore. It's a tribute, a reunion, and a reminder that no matter how far you go, the people who made you who you are will always be part of the song. As anticipation builds, ticket sales for the concert date featuring Jungkook's appearance and his mother's attendance have surged dramatically. Fans are scrambling for any remaining seats, while thousands more plan to live stream the concert globally, knowing that this will be more than just a performance. It will be a historical moment in BTS's legacy. HYBE has remained tight-lipped about the full setlist and surprise elements, but industry insiders hint that the emotional atmosphere is being carefully curated, not only for the audience, but especially for one very important guest, Mama John herself. The team knows this isn't just another show, a stage coordinator shared anonymously. This is a deeply personal gift from Jin to Jungkook and from Jungkook to his mother. Everyone behind the scenes is pouring their hearts into this. No detail is too small. Every lighting cue, every backdrop change, it's all part of a larger story being told. ARMYs, who have followed BTS through every high and low, are ready for what promises to be a soul-stirring event. On social media, emotional fan messages flood in from around the world. "I'm already crying imagining Jungkook's mom watching her son shine beside Jin. She must be so proud." This isn't just a concert, it's a full-circle moment. From trainees to legends, from family to family. Only BTS could turn a world tour stop into a love letter to motherhood and brotherhood. I have no words. Even Korean media outlets are calling the upcoming performance the most anticipated reunion on stage and dubbing Jin as the gentleman of K-pop for honoring not only Jungkook's artistry but his roots. Meanwhile, Jungkook has kept mostly quiet in the days leading up to the show, typical of his humble, low-profile nature. But fans speculate that he's saving his energy for a performance that will be remembered for decades. Leaked rehearsal footage shows him arriving early, spending hours with Jin going over harmony lines, even testing various stage outfits to match Jin's elegant concept. Jin, for his part, has also opened up more emotionally during fan messages, hinting that this concert might just be the most important night of the tour. The emotional climax is expected to come during the final segment of the concert, where Jin and Jungkook will stand alone on stage, in dim lighting, backed only by a string quartet. In this moment, they will reportedly sing a brand new ballad titled, "You Raise the Moon," which fans believe was written by Jin as a tribute to all mothers, but especially to Mama John. As the music swells and the lyrics echo through the stadium, Jin is rumored to gesture toward the VIP section, where Jungkook's mother will be seated, and then silence. About a standing ovation, and perhaps, if rumors are true, a single spotlight will shine down as Jin offers her flowers, thanking her not with words, but with music. The Run Seokjin EP tour was meant to mark the beginning of Jin's new chapter. But with Jungkook at his side, and the woman who raised Jungkook watching with love and pride, this chapter is no longer just Jin's. It's a shared moment in BTS history, a tribute to family and proof that even on the biggest stage in the world, it's the quietest, most heartfelt moments that leave the deepest mark. And when Jin and Jungkook walk off that stage, shoulders touching, hearts full, they'll leave behind more than applause, they'll leave behind a legacy of love. And when the final note fades into silence, there will be a moment, a collective breath held by thousands in the arena and millions watching worldwide. When time seems to stop, Jin and Jungkook, no longer just two members of the biggest band in the world, but two sons, two brothers, two artists who chose family over fame, will look out into the crowd with eyes filled not with pride, but with gratitude. The lights will dim, but the memories will burn brighter than ever. Seokjin places his arm around Jungkook's shoulder in the final bow. Cameras will flash like starlight. But the brightest light will not come from the stage. It will come from the heartfelt connection forged in that very moment, between artist and audience, between mother and son, and between two men who have stood side by side through every storm and spotlight. And in the VIP row, when Mama John rises to her feet, clapping with trembling hands and misty eyes, her pride will radiate beyond words. Fans may never hear her voice, but they'll feel her love echoing through the arena, stronger than any bass drop or high note. After the show, behind closed curtains, Jungkook is expected to greet his mother backstage, with Jin by his side. Staff insiders whisper of a planned private dinner with Jin, Jungkook, and both of their families in attendance, an intimate moment to celebrate not just success, but connection. Jin reportedly wants to thank Mama John in person, not as a celebrity, but simply as Seokjin, grateful to the woman who raised someone who has stood by him like no other. Back online, armies will relive the night over and over, flooding timelines with clips, tears, and messages of love. They didn't just perform. They told a story of loyalty, of respect, of heart. That bow with Jungkook and Jin, I'll never forget it. And when they showed his mom crying, I was gone. This is why BTS is different. This is why they mean more than music. Fans around the world are already requesting an official release of the duet, You Raised the Moon, calling it the most beautiful and meaningful song of the year, even if it was only performed once. Meanwhile, journalists and critics alike are calling the performance a masterclass in intimacy on a grand stage, and praising Jin for redefining what a solo tour can be. This wasn't a spectacle of ego, it was a showcase of heart, made even more powerful by the presence of someone who's never stepped onto a stage, but helped raise someone who belongs on one. And so, the story of Jin's solo tour will be remembered not just for its music or milestones, but for a night when two brothers stood tall together. For a moment when the boy from Gwacheon and the boy from Busan reminded the world that even the loudest cheers mean nothing without the quiet strength of those who love you. Jin and Jungkook walk into the next city, the next stage, the next moment. They carry not just their legacy, but the invisible hands that raised them, believed in them, and watched them become the stars they are today, and in the hearts of armies around the world. That moment, the night Jin honored Mama John and Jungkook stood by his side, will never fade, because some concerts are unforgettable, but this one was immortal. And as news of that unforgettable night spreads beyond K-pop circles, even mainstream global media outlets begin covering the event, not as just another tour stop, but as a cultural moment that transcended music. Headlines across the globe read, Jin and Jungkook redefine the stage with a tribute to family. Mama John steals the spotlight in the most beautiful way, from Seoul to the world. A concert that brought millions to tears. Social commentators, emotional fans, and cultural critics alike praised the performance as a masterstroke of authenticity in an industry often criticized for being too polished. What BTS, and particularly Jin, proved that night was that the most powerful stages are not the ones covered in pyrotechnics and special effects, but the ones grounded in vulnerability, sincerity, and humanity. Jin's solo tour, Run Seokjin EP, tour, originally launched as a way to introduce the world to his personal artistry. But now, it's become something far more monumental. The night Jungkook joined him on stage, and his mother was honored in front of a global audience, Jin's tour transformed into a tribute to roots, relationships, and resilience. And for Jungkook, this night wasn't just about performing. It was about standing as a man, a son, and a brother, giving his all not for himself, but to show gratitude. Gratitude to the Hyung who has always protected him like family. Gratitude to his mother, who gave him the foundation to fly. Gratitude to the fans who have stood by him through every challenge, every evolution, every heartbeat on stage. Shortly after the concert, a single blurry backstage photo begins circulating online. It shows Jungkook, in casual clothes and slightly teary-eyed, sitting beside his mother. Jin is standing in front of them, offering her a gentle bow while holding a handwritten card in one hand and a bouquet in the other. The caption reads simply, "The most beautiful encore happened behind the curtain." That image alone speaks volumes. Millions of armies across fan cafes, Weverse, Twitter, and TikTok begin posting their own tributes. Artists create fan art. Writers pen poems. Musicians write covers and piano versions of the rumored song You Raised the Moon. The BTS fandom becomes a wave of emotion, creativity, and collective healing. In the days that follow, HYB is inundated with requests for an official video release of the performance. Global demand is overwhelming, and the label hints that the moment may be included in an upcoming special tour documentary or even a limited theatrical release. Jin posts on Weverse the next morning with a short message that breaks the internet. Last night wasn't about being the star. It was about thanking the stars who shaped us. Thank you, Jungkook. Thank you, Mama John. And Jungkook follows not long after with a simple, I'll never forget this night. Thank you, Hyung, and thank you, Yalma, for everything. I love you. Armies around the world hold virtual spaces to relive the moment, watch parties, group chats, voice calls filled with laughter and tears. They talk about the look in Mama John's eyes, the way Jin looked at Jungkook before they sang their final harmony,
The bow.
the embrace, the feeling, and it's in those shared spaces, digital and emotional, that fans realize something deeper. BTS has never just been about music. It's about connection, about honoring where you came from, about standing together, not just when it's easy, but when it means something. As the Run Seokjin EP tour continues to its next city, the world watches differently now. Every seat filled, every stage illuminated, not just with lights, but with love. Because what Jin gave the world that night was more than a concert. It was a memory, a gift, and a legacy of love that no spotlight could ever outshine.